This was him taking out motor pacing, and Michelle was driving, and Jimbo was sitting on the back. And this was when Phil, remember, Jimbo came over. It was the first time they made those shifters that were on the brake light.
STI.
Yes. Shelley even knows the STI levers. And Jimbo
developed at our kitchen.
In this picture was the inventor of the STI. Concept guy of the shifter. And so this was a great day. It ended up being foggy out on the canal, and we're going, and Phil's motor pacing behind Michelle, and Jimbo's sitting backwards on the scooter.
No.
So he can look and watch Phil's fingers shift and everything, going down. It's all foggy and raining out and everything and cold. And Jimbo never complained once. And I would hang out and ride with him until they would wind up the scooter to go for whatever test, and I'd get blown off the back, and then they'd be sitting there talking. I'd come catch up. And the birth of it. I still had Jimbo's email, and over the years, I'll always, every once in a while, I'm like, I wonder if he still works at Shimano on email.
He's in charge of the whole thing. So Jimbo Masahika, so they tried to create the STI, and they tried with a couple of other riders who absolutely had no patience to do it. But Phil was so stoked to be part of this prototype project. So this engineer lived with us.
Came over and stayed.
Followed the race, and he would train. He'd go on the moto, watch Phil. Phil would say stuff like, "There's no positive click." And so he'd come back to the house, sketch, fax it over to Shimano. Shimano would overnight European Express the new prototype back over. Jimbo would put it on Phil's bike. And so Phil would feed back. And Shimano offered a job to Phil, okay? And Phil's like, nah, I don't want a job with you guys, but I want some fishing rods, okay? So Mr. Shimano was like, you only want fishing rods? And he's like, yeah, I just want some rods, man. And, some equipment. So that got prototyped while Derin was there. And he would come to the races. He'd sleep at the hotel. He would be in the team car. And so
he came to Giro de Lazio that year. I remember. That came out too, and he was just amazed at the scope of it all. You really dropping a race like that and just the chaos and everything of it. That was.
And Phil used one of the pieces of prototype equipment. It's one of the stages at Tour Ireland, and they couldn't see what Phil was doing, and he used it because it's like the brake lever.
Oh, you mean his competitors couldn't see what he was doing?
And all of a sudden, he just took.
Oh, that's right, for an attack one stage.
Yeah.
And they were saying that because normally you reach down to hit the frame shifter. That's right.
Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing advancement in technology in the kitchen.
I remember that tour of Ireland one year. The year that he was over there when I was living with you guys. Because I remember just one day came back from a ride. And I'm like, I'll flip on the TV and see if there's any racing on. You put it up, and there's 4 tiles, and one of the tiles is just Phil soloing off the front. I'm all,
because he had the STI on.
He was handling it. That was pretty cool.
But he was also a good bike racer.
He was a good bike racer.
So
when Derin was there, they were doing all this kind of training, and there was another guy motor pacing you.
Well, I had, as people didn't know back in those days, maybe it's still the same. For whatever pro, a dude would just want to help him out, right?
Yeah.
Michelle would give him rides to the airport and stuff like that, take him out motor pacing.
Yeah.
And so he had a buddy who was like a young, budding Michelle who was helping me out, hoping that if I ascended up the ranks, then he would, he would have a spot. I think Hert something. I don't know his name. Yeah, so he was like my guy.
Yeah.
It's like a squire for a knight. That's another Game of Thrones reference for you guys that don't watch Game of Thrones. Yeah,
it's kind of like a man friend or something like.
In a way, in motocross they had the man friend, so this would have been similar,
But these guys got paid. Phil would arrange payment through the team, and he'd get all these guys paid, and so it was amazing. So this was DS. Oh,
that was it.
That's pretty wild.
It's a great photo, D.
Yeah, that was fun over there.